the Real and Raw Show. I'm Lynn Serrano.
I'm Brian. That's what the new year brings us.
Oh my gosh. You know what? We're going on our 3rd year here.
That's freaking unbelievable.
That's awesome. We started in 2020. And this is so awesome. I don't know. It's looping weird, but we'll be right back after this and see if it gets any better. Brian's gone, but I'll be right back. And hopefully Brian will be right back too. Brian, are you here?
I'm here, yeah.
You're going to have to get a smiley face.
Apparently, by me singing, I screwed up my camera. Yeah, we don't need to do that. For those of you that don't know, I was singing. Lynn posted up something to get her jamming on somebody that she knows. And yeah, I was singing and it might have screwed up my camera. I don't know.
You know, I don't know. It may
go.
have been like a karma thing because I think like you were just being like the rendition was goofy and silly. And I guess it just kicked you in the ass.
Apparently my camera, it broke its lens or something because it doesn't like me to sing. However that works, I have no idea, but we're going to run with it.
Yeah. Well, what were the lyrics without you like putting the
singing? Hand on.
Joe Cocker.
Wait a minute. Give me like, yeah, it was from Joe Cocker. And watch my camera go out again because of that. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, you know, maybe we got to, have the legal copyrights of saying certain things or trying to sing like that. But well, I don't know.
God knows nobody's calling me for a singing deal anytime soon. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, well, Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy 2023. Here we are 5 days in.
I'm so excited because I was just telling you off camera that we're going to start, we're going to rewind some videos from years gone past. And I mean, going on our 3rd year, it's going to be fun to have those clips and stuff. So, and if I would have been more prepared, I could have like taken the show where we did our word 3 years ago.
Yep.
Just about. So, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah. And we did it in 2019 or 2020. Yeah. So that's just like crazy. This is super crazy.
Well, and
look at Mr. Coachman.
Please don't
say it. It is a joke.
I'm glad we got our one and only person to say I don't need to sing. So I'm glad. Thank you, Charles.
Coachman, we love you. We love you. Happy New Year to you and to your wife. So
if you have ever heard wolves howl, that's probably better than me singing.
But you'll have to see the repeat on this because it went whoop, 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 whoop. It was like a glitch. It was like
even better.
Okay. So
it's kind of like, oh my God, I can't look at this anymore.
Oh, your eyes are really blue in this camera today. So it likes your blue eyes. Either that or did you put in blue contacts?
Yes. All of the above.
Oh, you really inspired me to be really goofy. And so I know that what's the one word type of thing. And I really wasn't going to be doing this year as far as a word because, I shouldn't say my word's silly, but it's just something really serious to me. So I was like, he goes, Charles says the wrong blue eyes.
Yeah.
A different shade of blue. Sinatra.
instead of navy, we're going to go with celestial. I got the fluorescent blue eyes.
Well, they look nice. I like them. I like it. I can't help it.
I mean, I got all these damn lights around here. Hopefully it'll do something good instead of make my hair red.
Yeah, your head's
My
your
head's
hair
not
is
red. My head's not red, but my hair is, yeah.
I'm just turning red.
My hair's the right color, but my head is red.
I think my lighting just turned red.
I think it's your face.
Good thing the podcast won't show that.
Yeah. For everybody that is watching, speaking of that, for everybody that can't see, Lynn looks like a tomato right now because she's been laughing so much.
Oh, laughing and just blushing by what, giving you compliments makes me blush. I can't help it.
Well,
because they're true. That's all.
We are January 5th, and it's just like, hey, I mentioned to Lynn on Monday, hey, how about this for a topic? And I need to acknowledge Lynn because I'm not a it's based on this premise. New Year's resolutions, whatever anybody says, I have a I have a program mechanism of my brain that I don't believe in resolutions because the root of resolution is resolve, which automatically puts it in a negative position. And I don't know if there's any studies out there, but I just do not want to put something in my brain that I did not do or achieve and then try to overcome that to start a new year.
Right.
I find that there's a lot of problems with that. So I'm not a person of gimmicks. I'm not a take the long cut, right?
Right.
That's what I believe in. But now that I've been practicing this for at least 2 years, is that every day in my journal, my one word has been disruption. And the reason why our topic for today is I think it's very nice because it's the beginning of the year, but also though it's like whatever you use, whatever mechanism that puts you on track, use it, go with it, but consider that you take everything that you want to do this year and break it down to one word.
Action.
Whatever that might be, because then all of a sudden you got all the subsets of words that come from there, right? But it's
Right.
all based on one word. And I would not be saying this unless it moves stuff for me, because I'm not a fan of gimmicks and games and shtick and short term types of things. I don't believe in that. I would rather commit to something, as weird as it might be. What ultimately turns from like a gimmick or whatever, once you lean into it and start doing the work on it, turns into something of muscle memory, something of substance. And I think that if you're looking for something to really get you on track or something to really believe in and hone in on, what's your one word, and then go all in on identifying for yourselves, nobody else, what that one word is this year.
I love how you depict that because to me, I totally agree. There, I don't like to set myself up for failure. Like I don't say I'm going to go on a diet because then right away I'm like I'll wait till Monday or
Right.
I'll whatever and you'll never achieve what you want to achieve. But we get into these dopamine fixes,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And then it's only the heat of the moment. But what carries you through the rest?
Right.
It doesn't,
Right.
depending on your mood or who you're around or what you eat and all these
Mhm.
different things. So,
Yep.
my word this year is health.
Okay.
And I have so many different health issues that uh I look at as a blessing in the way that there's a lot of good things I need to do in order not to fall in those pitfalls between
Mhm.
migraines and depression and my stomach being paralyzed and my legs not working right. I mean, all these things. So I don't get to work out the way I want to and this and that. But I think that the fun is finding the ways and the things I can do without, making it worse on my health.
Right.
Like I mean, I'd love to pick up a weight and just start lifting and building the muscles, but herniated discs in the neck just only allow you so long.
Right.
I mean, it's just all these different things. And I'm 57, so I mean that's the thing of aging, And Scott Schilling calls it being mature, is being older. So I'll say mature now that
And
I'm
I
mature.
and I would also, from the way that I'm looking at what you just said, is I would even challenge you to go a little bit deeper, because I mean health is a very broad thing,
Right.
and obviously you can get lost in that. But what I would say is focus on one part of your health and make that as specific as possible. Make it as
Yeah.
granular as possible, because then you bring it to the court.
Right.
There's no
Well,
chance. There's very limited. The more detailed you get by your thought process and what it is, the less likely, if you're going to invest the time, you're going to get a dopamine hit to keep going, keep going, keep
right.
going.
And matter of fact, I narrowed that down last year for myself
Okay.
because I learned a lot of pitfalls. So I guess right now where I'm at is the cool part of saying, okay, let's see how much I can do with what the abilities I can do. And it's the do it for the health of it, which is going to be a new podcast for me because we
Nice.
don't realize everything, whether it's mental, physical, it's something you have to do for the health of it, the way you react, I mean, there's just so much, like you said, to the health, uh, word and everything. And last year, I found a lot of pitfalls, a lot of things I couldn't do. So
Mhm.
this year, as far as do it for the health of it, is we don't realize everything we do is about the health of it.
Right.
And that's what I want to gear people to understand that, letting people trigger you or eating the wrong food that's going to bring you down this rabbit hole and knowing the things you're doing. So, yeah, you're right. It's a big word, but I kind of know where I mean with it. So that's that's the key word for everything that I've worked with last year going into this year. And that's why it's going to be do it for the health of it. And like I think I'm going to start recording a lot of vulnerable things that I'm doing, but I'm not going to release it till like March. And then I will go back and forward with it because I want to see my own results with it and where I'm at, and also encourage people to say it was only 3 months ago that I was like this, and this is how I am now. So it's a process. So you got to kind of go back and forward with it. But that's my word. What's your word?
My word is the same one as it's been for going on a second year, and that's disruption.
Okay.
And I would say within, and everywhere in my life, everywhere. I mean, I've invested every day for over 365 days looking at that word and writing down something about it. And I get it's such a freeing space to be because I'm at the source of that.
Right.
But the emphasis I'm putting in this year is how uncomfortable can I be every day?
Right.
Where it's like kind of like, where can you make your world uncomfortable where you're normally comfortable?
Right.
So like you exchange every single area where you're normally comfortable and exchange that for being uncomfortable.
Right.
Because eventually, and obviously I'm an extrovert and I'm around people all the time, but it's like there's always work I can be done. But unless I'm willing to open up that door and go through it, I don't know how uncomfortable I can be. And it's layers, and I'm at the source of what that looks like. But I think that disruption is, I'm going to open up that door. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to open up another one. And it's interesting because I have no measurement on where I'm going to go, what it's going to look like, but it feels great because it's always, and it's only up to me to decide.
Yeah.
What door I open, what it looks like, what does it feel like? And and of course it's going to be struggles. There's going to be victories and struggles along the way, but it's the more places and after a certain period of time, the muscle memory is going to be, I'm always uncomfortable.
Right.
And it's something you work through. It hasn't been overnight, but it's been something where it's like, okay, if I'm unwilling to put myself out there, well, but eventually that's going to become like, okay, you did that. Now what's next? What's next? Right. What's next? So that's my word for this year, with an emphasis in where can I be uncomfortable?
Well, I think that's been something for me all the time, is always being uncomfortable and knowing that it's for the greater good. It's for a purpose. And I may not know the purpose, but I do know that oh, here's Coachman says, my word is organized, as it affects everything in my life. Yeah, I like that.
All right. So Charles, I'm going to challenge you on going a little deeper. What particular area of life does organization going to hit the first part? Because I mean, organized can be an overarching thing. I mean, everything in my life. Well, that's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Which, and it could get easily overwhelming, because it's your whole life. And if you're trying to tackle organization in your whole life, I could see a lot of people, not saying it's you, a lot of people quitting before they start because it's such a macro thing.
Yeah.
Versus making it specific.
You got to remember the thing of the word. I hear what you're saying, but I mean, like honing it down to, like somebody could say for you, you said your word is disruption, right? You've done it for 365 days. Mm-hmm. It's like, how much disruption do you have to deal with or whatever? I mean, somebody could say to you, hone that down a little bit more too. Sure. I'm playing devil advocate here.
No, I get it. I get it.
So what I'm saying is you probably go way deeper now after 365 days 100%. With that word.
Yep.
So, I'm just saying, playing devil advocate here, that it's whatever powerful word that puts you in action or accountability. Right. And I had a show with Cheryl yesterday, and she made such a great point. And this is what I do, but I didn't realize that that's what I did is, it's one thing to say, where do you start? But the problem is people don't put the finish date on it.
Right.
And the finish date is going to motivate you to keep in action. Correct. To achieve that date. Right. And so that was an epiphany for me, to saying, yeah, that's really what it does, is the date really keeps you motivated, not just saying, okay, I'm going to lose weight. But if you want to lose it by June, June is the deadline. You got to, be realistic
Well,
about it.
in all of this too is that we want to make sure that by anything we're imparting in this conversation is that you don't get stuck in analysis paralysis,
Right.
because it's not in the one word where anything happens.
Right.
That's just your compass. Now
Mm-hmm.
you need, compass, for instance. Now you need to walk there. Now you need to
Yep.
get there. Now you need to go through whatever terrain that there is to go through. And that's your
Exactly.
actions. Now, here's the thing. Anything you write down can be written again and again and again. It's not like, oh my God, I didn't take all these actions today. Great. You took some. That's better, like Les Brown says, if let's see here, what did he say? Something about if you fail or whatever, at least you're failing forward. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're not moving backwards, you're moving forward
Yes.
at every given moment.
Yes. And I totally agree. I think we're hard on ourselves on the linear part of, of the timeline,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to realize, like everything is constantly moving
Correct.
forward with or without you, but at least move a hairline today more than you were the day before.
Well, and I think if this might help, maybe this will help you, Charles or Lynn or anybody else that's watching. Is I found a lot of validity, but I'm a visual learner and I'm a very deep thinker. Is to reverse engineer the outcome. Reverse engineer what that word looks like for you. The more specific, the more you can get it on the court, the better, because then whenever you're dealing with crisis or struggle, you can always go to a visual that you created in your head. And through time, it'll become more specific about what that looks like.
Yeah.
Because you're going to hit roadblocks. You are going to hit struggle. But how do you respond to that? And I mean, we're probably within the range here in the next 10 days or 20 days of anybody that wanted to
sign up for a gym.
100%. The reason why we can spout it off so quickly is because it's so complimentary in our society that's I want to get in better health. Well, great. Saying it doesn't do it.
Why do you think they have the memberships to join till like January 13th? Because they know by the 20th there won't be enough people there to entice you to keep going, because all the people won't even be showing up till after that. You want to read what Charles has here?
Charles says, my life has changed 180 degrees in the last 9 months. So getting my mind wrapped around all that I have to do calls me to be truly organized on the things that need my attention and let go of the things that have no upside. 100%. And I think that also, and thank you for sharing, Charles, but I think that also touches on something that I didn't share when Lynn was sharing, was about in your brain about what's healthy and what's not, is that you have a better awareness mentally of what is healthy and what is not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What you say to yourself, what people say to you, how do you interpret it?
Right.
And so I think there's a parallel here of what is said and what do you make it mean, but also though, is it positive or negative?
Right.
And I think a lot of that kind of parallels within what Charles said.
Yeah. And I think it'll be interesting because for me, you're going to see that word for me all over the place, because when all else fail, I'm like, I got to do it for the health of it, and it's the mind, body, or soul. I'm going to do it for the health of it this year. So, so instead of the hell of it, it'll be the health of it.
And I think that too is that knowing that this is a lifelong journey, whatever we make of it, there, obviously like yesterday, what you talked about with Cheryl, but at the same time, it's like, if you don't have the visuals of what you're putting in or the reward, like if you have a certain look you want to be, or how do you want to feel? Like, is that a CRM for you, Charles? Is that to not have a dirty desk? Not saying you have one, but I'm just putting it out there. The more specific you can get about how you want to feel,
Right.
I mean, I know plenty of people that'll pay people to make things go away out of their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They can't keep it. That's the thing. You can't keep it. You can have it's like, they say the first 10 pounds helps you motivate you for the rest. And yet it motivates you if everything's clean. But if you're not paying attention how you're messing it up, you're going to have to get somebody to come back and redo what you're doing, because it's not set. So in the long run, does it pay to have somebody just clean up the mess, or does it pay to understand why you do what you do?
Correct.
And correct it while you go and modify. Do you really like it this way or do you not? And that's kind of what I've even done with my bedroom this past year. What's functional? What do I use? What don't I use? What, I don't like seeing things around, but there's certain things that I use all the time. So, I mean, I guess we could get into that sometime. This, I guess, month of January is where people are organizing their life and organizing their things, after Christmas and things like that. So that might be a good topic for next time or something.
And I think too is that along the lines of the healthiness of what you say to yourself, and if it's positive or negative, I think there's also something to be said for what you did that worked and a lesson that was learned as the opposite. Because I think a lot of people make themselves wrong by saying, oh, that didn't work, or I'm a failure because of X. It's like, no, you just learned what not to do.
Right.
And I mean, so you're pleasant with yourself, that you keep it actually neutral to be like, hey, I'm glad I learned that lesson now, because who knows how many years down the road I could have went by doing the same thing and it would have left me to the same result I got early.
And appreciate the fact that you even tried.
Correct.
And if it failed miserably, hi, Eric. If it failed miserably, so be it. Say, damn, I'm so glad I tried that. And laugh at yourself. Laugh at the fact that it really was a shit show. I mean, just say, hey, at least, and you can look at somebody else. Well, did you try doing that?
Well, one of the things I will tell myself is I'm just like, okay, we got that mistake out of the way. Let's move on.
Right. And laugh at it. Laugh and say, hey, at least I know now, I mean,
and I mean, we're, Harvey McKay and other people said is that the greatest project you're ever going to work on is yourself.
Absolutely.
There is no deadline on that. The only deadline there is when they put those words on your tombstone.
Yep.
On your gravestone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so there is no rules or laws about what it is, but by who you follow and lessons you've learned in life, and by the adventure that you've been on, you use that to your benefit. You use that as your guidance.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I think you already had your last words for the day, but do you have any more before we go?
How about your last words this time? Let's flip it.
I love seeing you every week. I missed you the last couple weeks. I'm excited. This is going on our 3rd year.
Woo.
And I'm going to have to count how many videos we've done. We've done a lot.
Gosh.
We've done a lot. And
golly.
Yeah, I just feel really blessed that you find time to etched in for us to do this. And so your commitment is just something near and dear to my heart. My first co-host.
Woo!
So
you're number 3. Here we come.
Yeah. All right, you guys. I love you, Brian.
Love you too, Lynn.
Okay. Have a great day, you guys. And we'll see you next week.
Bye. Everyone.